Evening, folks. Brian here, Geomagnetic Earth Watch on Tuesday, December 27, 2022 on our planet. Hope you are well and warm. Thank you very much for all the Christmas memes on my Facebook. Very much appreciated. So guess what we're going to talk about again. If you wish some more advanced lectures, please proceed down the hall to Professor Davidson's class. As for the rest of you, the talking point in today's class is the 40-degree point at which time there's going to be a pole flip. Ooh. So before we get into this, let's have an understanding of the difference between a geomagnetic reversal, or pole flip, as people are talking about, which is when the magnetic north and south poles reverse places. This process arguably happens every 250,000, 350,000, 450,000 years. The last time being 780,000 years ago. Through studies of sediments and cores and lava rocks, etc., there is an estimation that this process takes on the average of 7,000 years to complete. However, new studies suggest that it can happen 10 times faster. Therefore, it can happen in 700 years. Various papers state between 2,000 and 12,000 years, so therefore 200 years to 1,200 years to complete. There are others who suggest and have recently reported that it can happen in a lifetime. Not that we were there back then, but they're just using that as an example. So let's just say 100 years. There's something to keep in mind, however. In order for the magnetic north and south poles to swap places, there has to be almost 0% field strength for this to happen. Now, secondly, we have a geomagnetic excursion in which we are currently underway on and have been since 1859. Caused by the Carrington event, which was an X-class, X45 class flare that hit the Earth, and in a more simplified term, kicked magnetic north in the butt and said, get going. 1859, September 1859, the Carrington event struck the Earth. And that's when we started. So it really started around 1903. Before then, magnetic north was just busy touring around northern Canada, just meandering about. 1903, it really started as an excursion course and has already crossed over geographical North Pole. Now, our protective geomagnetic field originates from within the outer core of our planet through a dynamo process. If you want a more detailed explanation at recess time, you can go to Professor Davidson's class. So the magnetic field lines will leave the southern magnetic cusp, magnetic pole, envelops the Earth, and re-emerges back into the north magnetic region. Neat, coherent magnetic field lines. Also keep in mind, I've discussed this before, that in order to have a 100% organized magnetic field protecting our planet, our magnetic poles need to be in relative antipodal positions to one another. When they start moving on an excursion such as they are, – it breaks up our organized magnetic field lines. We'll get into that later. So a geomagnetic excursion is not a permanent change, but does result in a significant change in Earth's protection, dropping our field strength down to as low as only 5 to 10% protection. An excursion results in the reorientation of the magnetic poles such that we end up with multiple magnetic north and magnetic south poles, which results in highly variable magnetic field directions. So normal field strength, organized, coherent, during a reversal and excursion, as magnetic north is migrating out of its stable position, we end up with multiple magnetic norths and multiple magnetic souths. And again, they call it a magnetic blob below Canada, and another one stronger below Russia that's pulling over the magnetic north dipole. So again, an excursion is reorientation of the magnetic pole within 45 degrees from its original position here. It could stabilize here, creating two magnetic norths. Two additional ones can also develop. Magnetic south dipole is already off the coast of Antarctica. And of course, the South Atlantic anomaly. Now, let's get to this experiment, shall we? In this video, I give credit of this video to Jean Barry Beards of the Maverick Star Observatory based in England. I will quote Jean. And again, there is no organization to his YouTube channel. There's no playlist. You have to go through a lot of his videos to find out what he is talking about. I will quote some of his statements. The basis of his theory is something is rotating within the core. As it nears 40 degrees, it speeds up. In this representation, he uses a rotating magnet to represent something rotating within the core. Let's play his video. You will see the needle snap from north to south, from north to south. He states that this occurs as the needle approaches around 40 degrees on the compass. In other videos, he states that as the needle approaches 40 degrees, it speeds up. Based on his measurements, magnetic north is past 39 degrees. Now, on his monthly reports, the previous monthly report, magnetic north moved 5.24 miles. In this December's report, and please remember, folks, he ran his equipment for an additional 5 days. He added 5 days onto December's report. That distance covered is 6.24 miles with the additional 5 days. Some people have jumped to the conclusion and are stating throughout Facebook posts that there has been a sudden acceleration. There has not been a sudden acceleration. Minus those 5 days, magnetic north has covered yet again another 5.24 miles. It has only covered an additional 0.13 of a mile from the previous month's report. Again, there has been no acceleration. And in fact, if you go back for the past 12 months reports, 6, 7, 8 months ago, there were a couple of months when in fact it slowed down to 4.9 miles. There has been no acceleration, not since 2019. So a lot of people, I think, when they see this, they have it in their mind that the process of the pole flip happens so fast when they see this experiment. Folks, from this point to this point, in the past, it has taken up to 7,000 years. Correction, up to 12,000 years, the average of 7,000 years to complete. And again, some feel it can move 10 times faster. That is still 700 years. Others feel, again, in a lifetime. But people look at this experiment and they think that when the needle reaches 40 degrees, that's when the pole flip happens in spring of 2023. I send you down to the basement to the headmaster to be disciplined. So, and again, I'm just doing the short video, trying to keep it short because I'm still seeing posts. Oh, it's accelerated. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Have you watched Douglas Voigt's video I posted? Now, Mr. Voigt has many videos, and they're not 2-3 minute videos. They're very long videos. If you want to get into the study of a whole lot of things. And again, based on his interpretation of Scripture, he puts the pole reversal at the year 2046. It may very well happen. For those of you who understand Scripture, the book of Revelation, chapter 16, verse 18, the great earthquake such as mankind has never experienced. Perhaps that is going to be the crustal slip in the year 2046. But for now, folks, we're under a magnetic excursion, which is more detrimental to society, humanity, and the earth. And in fact, Douglas Voigt stated in his video that during the next solar maximum and the year afterwards, and that's only 2 to 3 years, is where we're going to see an uptick in catastrophic earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. And this is why I say, when people ask me, what is a timeline? I don't speak of a timeline of end times, pole flip, because what's going to happen in a couple of years is going to start affecting us. Just like the weather blanketing all of North America, probably because of the magnetic excursion weakening our protected magnetosphere, wreaking havoc with our jet streams, as well as about to go into a grand solar minimum. So think about it, and we'll see you tomorrow, folks.